Hey guys, this is Nikita Sivakumar, and today we're going to be talking about what is the structure of DNA. And in one of my previous videos about just what is DNA in general, I just mentioned that it's a double helix and, like a twisted ladder. So in this video, we're just going to zoom into the actual literal definition of the double helix versus, just the slang word of the twisted ladder. And also we're going to talk about the subunits that make up the double helix and what are those subunits actually made of. So let's go ahead and start off with the double helix, and that is a spiraling figure that contains parallel subunits intertwined along a common axis. Now that's just a very complicated, it's a very complicated definition. Really what it's saying is just subunits that are parallel to each other in the sense that they're three-dimensional. So I don't know, there's a subunit here and that subunit is also here and that they're parallel to each other. And they're also intertwined because they're kind of twisted, so they're kind of like that. So something like this. Something kind of like that. And they're all along a common axis. There is a common, here, let me use a different color to draw that common axis. Maybe this red color, there's this common axis between them. If here, this is this common axis, it's just kind of spiraling around that. But, that's just a very difficult definition. Really, what that means is, let me just go ahead and erase all of this. Get rid of these drawings. Really, what that means is what I mentioned before, the twisted ladder. Something that kind of looks just like this. Let me go back to the pen. Something like that. And so what we're going to talk about next is just one of these building blocks of it, and it's called a subunit. And there's also a more complicated name known as the nucleotide. And what that is a subunit of DNA consisting of a sugar and phosphate molecule, which makes up the sides of, if that twisted ladder was flattened out, the sides of the ladder are made of alternating sugar and phosphate molecules, and also the rungs are made up of one of the four nitrogenous bases. And you're going to learn that it's actually a pair of the nitrogenous bases. And before I just go into that, I'm going to go ahead and just tell you those four nitrogenous bases, which are adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine. And so, the rungs are made up of alternating sugar, a pair, sorry, I lost my train of thought, a pair of four nitrogenous bases. And so here, let's say this is just one subunit of DNA, and I'll provide a larger picture in just a second, but let me just get this doubt cleared out. So, this is kind of how it'll look. So, this is one, this whole thing is one pair. And so these are the two different parts. And now, let me go back to this slide. Adenine and thymine always pair up together. And guanine and cytosine always pair up together. So let's say over here on this side we have an adenine, that means its pair is always going to be a thymine. So hopefully that gives you a slight idea, but here I'm going to go ahead more in detail and just explain everything. So here's that flattened out ladder. And first I'm going to start off simply, and I'm just going to go ahead and draw the sugar and phosphate molecules. So let me just I'll just do that with the blue and green. So let's say we start off with the sugar here. That means there will be a sugar here, 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 and here. Oops, sorry. Okay, here. Oh, for some reason my pen isn't working. Okay, there it is. So, and so, let me, okay. So, by the way, this is pretty much, do I want to, yes, okay. So this is pretty much one subunit. And this is another subunit. And as you can see, for each subunit, there is one phosphate and one sugar. Again, one phosphate, one sugar. Phosphate, sugar. And by the way, the sugar is blue. And so let me just go ahead and draw that on this side as well. So a sugar, a phosphate, a sugar, a phosphate, a sugar, phosphate, sugar, phosphate, sugar, and then a phosphate should be down here. So anyways, so this is just one subunit, one nucleotide. And of course, there's the rung. So of course, there's the rung, which is made up of a pair of nitrogenous bases. So I'll just do that with red and maybe purple. So here, draw in these. All right, so this is just 1/2 of those nitrogenous bases. And let's say it was T, C, G, A. And that pairs up to A, G, C, T. So thymine goes with adenine, cytosine with guanine, guanine with cytosine again, and adenine with thymine. So this is the configuration of each, of each rung. G, C, A, T, C, G, T, A. So now, when they represent the makeup of DNA, they always they refer to one side, which right here, I'll just go ahead and make this circle a little bit more bold, one side of the nitrogenous bases. So in this case, that would be T, C, G, A. And this could be the configuration. This particular configuration could be the configuration for a brown eye, or the configuration for brown skin, or something like that. And, just a very crude example. And that's what each DNA part is, because it's hereditary material, and it's made up so that it configures one part of the body. So each cell has that feature. Let's say a blood cell. Maybe one of the DNA configuration is for maybe like O positive blood, and that might be C, G, T, T, and that translates to G, C, A, A. So these are all the different configurations of nitrogenous bases, and it is really important that you know how to translate these different things, because these configurations is what represents DNA as a whole. So hopefully this was a helpful drawing. I know it might be a little confusing at first just to understand all of this information, but really this is the basic idea. The sides of the ladder are made up of alternating sugar and phosphate molecules, and the rungs are made up of pairs of nitrogenous bases, and those pairs are always either adenine and thymine or guanine and cytosine. And whenever they represent a DNA makeup or like the DNA structure, they will just refer to one side of the nitrogenous bases. And really, that's pretty much the main idea. I mean, also just remember that, a nucleotide refers to, like, here, I don't know if you'll be able to see another drawing on top of all of this, but, like, a nucleotide would be something kind of like this, which it involves the sides with one phosphate and one sugar, and it involves one rung. And in this case, that rung is a guanine and a cytosine. So, I know this might sound a little confusing. You might want to see this video again, but really it is actually kind of simple once you start to understand the structure of DNA. And really that's pretty much it. Hopefully this was a helpful video, and thank you for watching. Bye!